Hello and welcome back to our next match. Right now we actually have what we call Big Brother versus Little Brother, PvP, Goliath versus however that phrase goes. But we have PNW versus Main Campus Purdue. There's a lot of anticipation going on. There's a lot on the line. So I guess pushing forward into this, how do you think this is going to play out?
I'm not sure. So we're playing on Ascent. You'd mentioned to me earlier that there's some subs planned for Purdue Northwest.
Right.
I hadn't realized that earlier. So that might come into play, not being as you're not able to jive as well. Your chemistry is a little messed up. But
they don't look like subs, though. I'll tell you that much. They don't look like subs.
Void, one of the subs, has been absolutely killing it today, especially against Butler earlier.
Right. No, we were watching that match earlier, and especially going on forward. I'm really looking forward to see what PNW has to offer. They're definitely an offensive force right now, but I also know that I am not going to cancel out Purdue here because Purdue is one of the favorite teams to make it to the end here.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are on Ascent. PNW is starting. Do you have any predictions for comps? Anything we'll see? For
comps, I'm not too sure. If we were talking main roster, I'd be able to have a lot more insight. I know that one of our players, Vlad, is typically our controller player. He's our controller main. Soja is typically our initiator in that sense. And then I believe Quix is going to be playing, it's going to either be Sentinel or Smokes.
Okay.
No, not Sentinel. Void's playing Sentinel, I believe.
Okay, so then we
might get double Smokes or double Intel or Initiator.
If Quix is the other main roster player, probably then Duelist would make sense because you want your most competent player to be the one who goes, or confident to be the one who goes in first.
Well, see, actually, one thing that Quix is really, really talented in is the way he plays Initiator, and he's really, really good at supporting the Duelist position. And that's why I have no doubt that I believe that we're probably going to see him either on Initiator or playing second Smokes.
Okay.
I wouldn't really catch him on I wouldn't catch him on Duelist. His aim is cracked. I've played with him a couple times. He is 10 times better than me. Pretty much all of them are. But we don't need to talk about that.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So. Imagine if we're playing on Ascent, double Smokes. What do you think that means? Is that an Astra? Are they running Harbor Viper? What do you think? Probably an Omen?
It would be more so. We're looking at what I would like to think is Omen. Mm-hmm. And if we are going to play another Smokes, which I'm kind of like on the fence about, we're probably looking at double Initiator. I would assume... Actually, no, it's going to be double Initiator. 100% double Initiator. Alex is probably going to be playing Flashes, whereas Soja is probably going to be playing Scan.
Okay, yeah, so probably, it's Ascent, you have to bring a Sova.
Right, it's Sova's playground.
Yeah, so Sova, maybe a Breach, and then Omen, KJ, Jet, something like that?
Yeah, that sounds about right. I feel like I do like Ray's picks on Ascent, but I think that's a map that Jet definitely dominates in, especially in the aspect of when you get an op in her hands.
Yeah. Even with the nerfs, Jet op mid is still so good.
Right. Well, and it's funny, Jet did get that nerf, but I really actually don't even think that was really that much of a nerf.
Yeah, the updraft hurt a little, but her pick rate barely dropped.
Right. And the only reason why you would need the double updraft anyway is to kind of make a knife play.
Yeah.
When you get your knives out, you peek over angles. For example, you always see Jet double updrafting over the A site so that she can see above, which we don't get to see that anymore. Mm-hmm. Kind of upsetting. That was one of my favorite things to do on Jet back in the beta, but I think that it's definitely more balancing. I think that Jet was definitely one of the more dominant duelists, Jet and Rays. But I honestly want to see some different duelists. We haven't seen a Neon. We're not going to see one. We're not going to see one this match. I can tell you that much. I'd like to see some Neon plays, Yoru plays, because I feel like those are characters that are kind of like wild cards.
Yeah, those are always fun. Maybe if we go to Bind, we'll see a Yoru. I know Butler's got a comp with it. They might not run it.
Do they?
Yeah, they got a Yoru comp. Yoru Chamber.
Well, little insight towards Butler. I want to see it, so bring it, please.
All right, sounds like I'm getting it in the headphones. We should be starting up pretty soon. But any predictions for what the other roster will be? I don't have any idea. I imagine something similar.
I would imagine playing Ascent, you typically are going to have Jet as your duelist. Mm-hmm. That's pretty normal. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Raze. They're both good picks. They both do a lot of damage, and they both are very, very versatile on that map. But we're probably going to be seeing Sky, Sova, what I would like to think is KJ, and Omen.
Yeah, that's typically what it is. It's a Flash plus Sova plus maybe a third Initiative if you want to run that. But if not, KJ, Omen, your choice of duelist.
Hit scan is definitely it's needed on Ascent, and I think that the best hit scan role for that map is Sova. He has been, and I think that he's going to continue to be the character that we see.
All right.
So actually, speaking of Sova, it looks like on the defender side for Purdue, we do not see that actually.
But there's surely not the triple or the two controller Reyna. Reyna Raze double controller would be something.
Now
oh my God, they lock it in? Okay.
That's different. I'm excited to see what they do with this. I want to see how they utilize this.
Yeah, okay. So we have literally the exact comp we were talking about, except swap out Breach for KO, which makes sense.
Right. Well, I was imagining it would be either Sky or KO. I know that Quix is a very talented KO player. Mm-hmm. And what we do have, though, is the Raze Reyna combo. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
How do you think that's going to play out? Honestly, this is baffling to me.
Okay, so it has to be something to the effect of Raze goes in and lets Reyna lurk, I guess. But
someone's gonna have to lurk. They don't have a sentinel starting off. But honestly, I think that the lurker is most likely. I wouldn't consider it to be one of the duelists. I'm thinking more that might be Viper's role.
It's 100%. Viper is basically a sentinel on her own, anyways.
Right. I agree with you wholeheartedly. And we are coming into the match. I'm really excited to see how this goes. This is, as we said, PvP. Purdue versus PNW. It looks like from the start.
Raze is going to try to take early control with this Harbor Cascade, probably. No, they decide not to.
They're waiting. So we did have the KO knife come in knife market. They have free space. They're making their way up, and they're making their way into the site slowly but ever surely. Quix does take down Harbor, and now they are moving their way in. And they do get the pick on Raze and manage to take the site. Vlad takes down King Lion Leo. There's so many Leo names so far this tournament. Well, there's been like two, but it's a tongue twister. With Vlad taking down 2 to finish off the round. That was really, really aggressive, especially coming from a controller player.
Yeah, I mean, he had the ghost and he had the confidence and got a quick triple kill in the first round of the game.
Absolutely. He is definitely showing them his sauce. He's got the sauce right now.
Yeah, this Purdue composition is so interesting, especially if you know you're starting on defense. Bringing double duelists that have no stopping power makes this so hard.
It's a little crazy. I mean, okay, I could totally see Reyna being able to be versatile with the op. That's something that I could see. I would consider that to be more so Jet's job, but Purdue could prove me wrong. They really could. I would love to see them do so, honestly. I'm really curious to see how this goes. I mean, it looks like we have Soja, who's going to send his drone in. Doesn't quite clear everything.
Did they just not realize that Purdue Northwest was going A? They're all B right now.
I don't even know what happened there. What did we miss?
They crunched B main like there was a team there and they were pinging it, but there was just no one there.
Really? Yeah. So maybe it was just a bad call, bad prediction, maybe. Well, now we got the one-way over tree, and that's not going to help them at all. The flank does get taken down by Soja. Dorito does take down King Leon Leo and gets a double kill, taking down Viper along with him. Harbor with 2 amazing Sheriff kills straight to the head. Quix does trade him out, and it is now down to Raze to finish off the round, but Quix is not going to let that happen as he sends him back. And now we are at 2-0 PNW above.
Yeah, beautiful start. They were able to grab sheriffs, so they're going to have sheriffs to drop to their teammates.
Right.
And this will just be a nice bonus. Keeping all your guns on your bonus, essentially, with the 2 sheriffs is pretty sweet.
Well, so they did, PNW did lose 2 players there, so that's a little bit of a dampener, but they still have 3 players who had full util. So obviously they're going to buy into this. They're going to try to hold this. And it's actually, you know, really not looking good for Purdue in the economy sense of things. You really don't want to start the game off 0-3. And the last time we watched Ascent, that's essentially what ended up happening.
And
Ooh, okay, Reyna tries to go in there, and it looks like they are going to manage to make this work. The shots are coming through. Vlad does get the pick, and now it is down to a 3v2. Reyna is lit, though. That being said, this is possible for Purdue Northwest to actually take this round, but it's more so about how they play it right now. I think they're waiting to see if something happens, and I don't think Purdue is going to give them any opportunities right now. They're definitely going to be playing slow. They're going to be playing back, and they don't want to take any aggressive positions they don't have to actually take.
Yeah, I thought that they were going to wait for an Omen smoke so KO could cross back safely to play doubles.
Oh, this is going to be huge.
But he's just in there.
Harbor has to get this refrag. He's sitting there. He's waiting in the corner. He's going to try to do the pop flash, and he does get taken down by Harbor. And now they're going to have to see and wait to figure out where Omen is. They don't know.
30
For all they know, he could have rotated.
Yeah.
They're playing very passively here, which is honestly what you want to do in this type of situation. You really don't want to give them the ones in this scenario with Harbor. He does take down Vlad, and it looks like we got some DMing going on the court.
Yeah, Purdue versus Purdue, that's going to happen. But yeah, Purdue played that perfectly. When you have that situation where it's a 2v1, you just want to stack up together and you can trade out.
Right.
You don't want to give them 2 1v1s.
No, absolutely not. I mean, they did venture out a little bit. If Vlad were to have cleared that corner, maybe things would have worked out differently. But that's kind of a hard read to make, especially with how passive they were playing, which is exactly the way that they should have played.
Yeah. Interestingly, Reyna, or KO could have bought Reyna a rifle, but she chose to go with the Judge instead.
Right. Which honestly ended up working in their favor. I mean, ooh, no, that dart does not clear B main, and they do manage to get the trade. Quicks does manage to get another one after, and it looks like they're going to be holding down the B site, and we're going to be going into what looks to be the retake on round 4.
And very importantly, they know about the Judge now.
Oh, they know about the Judge, all right. I don't think anyone can forget the Judge. There's a reason why it's getting nerfed. It's the tilt stick next to the op. Soja is holding the flank. He's going to shoot a couple shots, pushing this KO back. KO is going to get the pick on him, though, taking control of B main, and now they are set to get into this retake on a 3v3. Looks like the one-way is coming in. He's going to run through the molly, and he's going to work his way onto site. Boy, does take him down. Raise blast backs in with Vlad taking her down. King Leon Leo now takes down Void, putting himself in a 1v2. A really tough one at that, since he does not have a lot of HP remaining. He does get taken down by Quicks, showing him who the superior KO is as they run off to the site in the sunset like the Wild West.
I don't want to call it, or I don't want to talk about this too much, but this comp from Purdue just makes no sense. They don't have the information to play against Purdue Northwest.
No, and it's especially the way that you have to hold down B. It's when you, and I'm not saying that you have to have a KJ on B. Like, you can have a KJ set up on A, and it could be just as successful.
Yeah.
But having KJ as an agent on Ascent is, I don't want to say a must, but it's
they don't have a KJ and they don't have a Sova. You need one.
See, I never really believed in the double duelist, double controller meta. I don't even know if I would even consider that to be a meta, with Vlad taking down Reyna to start this off, putting PNW at the 5v4 position, and it looks like everybody is going to be playing passive.
Yeah, cutting noise, just trying to take some space.
This actually looks really, really good for PNW.
You can see they have a player in each lane. Well, now Jet is circling over now that they're ready to make their hits.
The drone comes in. Void does manage to take down KO, and they are inside the site. Omen TP comes in. He makes his way in. And at this point, It's not looking good for Purdue. Harbor does not have a lot. Oh, but that doesn't matter if he doesn't have a lot of HP, as he is a headshot magnet with that Sheriff. How many Sheriff kills has he gotten so far? Just like that.
Beautiful.
Absolutely. Precision is key. It looks like Pace is going to try to do the same thing here, and she does. She does manage to take down another, which is kind of big for them considering this is an eco. And I think she's going to try to make her way into another. I mean, why would she not? Soja does catch her off guard, though, catching her with the head peek, shooting her down, and putting PNW at a 4-1 lead.
Yeah, great round there by PNW. They got a pick, and then they just slowed it down, waited for their opportunity, and took it. Couldn't have been done better.
You know, I'm thinking maybe Purdue might be able to do a lot more on the defense side with their comp. It's a tough call to make. You know, I believe in the Viper Harbor play. Like that is something that's not uncommon.
No, not at all.
Those two are kind of like they're almost like mates. You know, they're kind of like a pair.
Yeah.
But it's the double duelist here minus Jed, which is probably one of the most dominant duelists on this map.
If you're gonna go double duelist, it's gotta be either Jet plus Raze or like a Raze plus Yoru or something, just not a Reyna. Reyna needs information, and you can't have a second duelist taking away an information slot when you're building a comp around Reyna.
Whoa, look at that flick. Harbor, I thought that he was I thought he was about to fold that as he kind of pushed up a little bit too far, but he manages to take two. His B-main push is not in vain. He takes out a third. Shooting Void down. It is now in Purdue's favor with a 5v2.
He's had the timing on Jet. He's just not looking.
He is not.
One enemy remaining.
He's gonna go for the ace. Unfortunately, the ace does not come to him as Raze manages to steal it right out of his grasp. But what a play by Harbor. I was not confident in that push up there, but that first initial flick he had, I believe that pushed his momentum in getting all those other three picks. Because you have to keep going for that trade. I mean, if they got that trade, they pretty much were walking into a free B site. But Harbor was not going to let that happen.
Absolutely not. 10-4 through 6 rounds. Phenomenal from him.
Absolutely, especially as a controller. You know, a lot of people don't really expect controllers to get a lot of frags as we kind of look on the other side of the scoreboard. But Harbor is not, he's not going to let that stereotype fly.
Absolutely not. Looks like a play for some mid controls happening with Omen here, but blocked out by that Viper wall.
You know, that Viper wall is that's lethal. Especially the way that they're kind of isolating mid with the Viper and Harbor wall. Although, I will say, that's kind of dangerous. Because what do they have left?
Yeah, I mean, I guess they have the Harbor bubble and the Viper bubble, but that's it.
Well, and it looks like Purdue is anticipating that PNW is going to be pushing up onto the A site as they're laying all their cards on it right now. They still have two people sitting on the other side. They do see the Sova drone coming in. Jet is going to dash in. They do blind KO. KO does take one down, and Jet does get the ping. But they ping back site. They take down 3 players on the site, and now it is a 3v2 PNW in favor. The bomb does make it down, but Spaghetti manages to snipe a pick right out from underneath their noses. The shock dart comes in, but the Harbor ult is alive. They do manage to take down PNW. Spaghetti showing everybody that he is not belong on the bottom of the scoreboard as he takes down 3, starting himself off this round on round 6.
Beautifully done retake there. The Harbor ult was so amazing for that.
That was immaculate.
Pushing Jet out of Hell was clutch for them.
Absolutely. And I mean, Hell is a very tricky position to handle, you know, and that's one reason why, you know, I would consider running Gecko on this map, is because there's a lot of lineup mollies you can use to kind of eliminate Hell from even being a factor in general.
Yeah, you get that and KO on other sides of it.
Right. So I guess now Purdue is starting to adapt to PNW's play style, so I think we're going to have to see something different from PNW if they want to push themselves further and deeper into this game to take more of an advantage.
Looks like on this eco round, they're just going to 5-man run it down B.
It appears to be so. They do manage to blind Viper, but that does not stop them. The rotate is coming kind of fast. And it looks like they're going to be holding and playing this passively.
Do you know where the op is? Someone on Purdue has an op.
Someone on Purdue has an op. If I were to assume, it's probably their Rays, considering the angle that she's holding right now. But Vlad does take down KO, but the trades do come in. We are now down to a 3v3, but PNW manages to get on to the B site. Dorito almost catching Rays off guard there. And PNW's got to play this wisely. Now the op is in play. The op is in position, and it looks like Reyna is the one with it. Rays is going to come in with a showstopper, but the show was stopped on Purdue as PNW manages to get all 3 frags, knocking them down and taking their 5th round.
Notably, choosing to leave the op behind. Even though they initially bought it, they're deciding they don't want to keep it.
Well, I mean, you definitely don't want the enemy team to have it.
I guess.
The crutch stick is it's a scary thing to go up against,
Yeah.
you know. It's
Good gun.
especially on Ascent. And I've seen plenty of matches here where people essentially neglect to buy flashes on Ascent. There was a tournament I was casting for a bit ago, and that was the case. And when they bought that op, it was GG. They couldn't do anything.
Oh, Reyna bought another op?
He did.
I didn't even realize. He got a quick pick on Jet there, who wasn't expecting that.
Right, and that's exactly what they need right now with Reyna taking down another one, and it looks like he's going to be dying to gear up and get another one, and he dies! He is now down to the last person.
One enemy
Can they
remaining.
knock that op down? I don't believe so. He's now up to Sova to potentially be the hero of PNW. The Rays blast packs in, and Sova does take her down, but KO is going to get the trade and get another round for Purdue, putting them up 4-5 to PNW.
Closing in. I did not expect when they loaded into this map and picked Reyna that it would be an opping Reyna strat. That was
See, that's the only play I can see them using her for, though.
Mhm.
I mean, she's not going to be lurking. That's Viper's
Yeah.
role.
Yeah. I guess you're right. I don't know why you wouldn't pick Jet if you wanted the op.
You know, a lot of people, like, I get it. You know, Jet is like what we consider, the queen of the op, essentially.
Sure.
But I think Reyna is honestly just as good as a pick to op, considering her ability to take a wide angle, get a pick. And if you're fast with it, like this Reyna is displaying right now, you can actually manage to get a pick, essentially get out completely to safety and completely escape all offensive strikes. And what looks to be here, PNW did manage to get up and take the A site, and now they're at PNW is now up 3, while Purdue is down 2. The drone comes in, and Harbor gets flashed, but PNW notices that Harbor is not a force to be reckoned with.
KO lurking up through glass.
When Harbor does take down the first, and now is down to a 2v1, but no one's going to take it. Oh, absolutely. Why would you take this site? I mean, Harbor has definitely been proving that his aim is superior in a lot of these fights that he's been taking. So, I mean, you could take the chance to go find Harbor, go take the peaks on Harbor, but I think it is way better to just go solidify yourself a site, just sit down, just wait at the tavern, wait for the night to pass over, wait for your full heal, and see where you go from there. With Harbor now taking down Quicks, and he knows where the next guy is. He's going to try to take the shot, but Soja does prevent him from getting the round, giving PNW yet another round.
Great play there. No one ever expects that. You never think that they're just sitting on the edge there. You always think they have to jump up, so that swing catches people off guard all the time.
Well, see, and I thought that Harbor caught that, but I said it. I don't really have in-game noise, so I'm assuming he did not make noise in that sense. Harbor, though, what's his name here?
Harbor.
I'm calling him Harbor. That's just Harbor. That's Harbor. However he has his name pronounced, he is definitely showing that he is a very dominant player in this match right now.
Is that a Reyna tuck with a judge right there?
Yes, it is, and I love it. But it looks like PNW is actually not taking the bait.
He got cold feet.
Well, I mean, to be fair, if a Viper wall is sitting up there blocking off A main
Mm-hmm.
and there's a lot of time in between, you can kind of guess that someone might push themselves up. Especially with Purdue losing that last round and where their economy is, you would expect someone to be holding a judge.
Yeah.
So honestly, I think that was just a really good read for them. They definitely wanted to contact it. They wanted to contact it and let them know they were there, but they definitely intended on using that KJ ult on B.
Okay. I think you're right, trying to get the deep player off. And they did. This is a free site because of that KJ ult.
Right.
But they are fighting 4v5.
Yes, they are. And they're going to have to play their cards right because their controller is also lit. And it looks like they are going to be caught on the flank. And ooh, we do not get the trade there. It is now down to that's Boyd. Boyd does get the pick. He gets the second one. And now he almost got them all. He does manage to get the 3K, but unfortunately, Harbor does manage to trade him. Fortunately for Purdue. But now this next round is going into the hands of Purdue. We are going to be coming up on 5-6 into what is going to be our half point. And I mean, they have a Harbor ult going into this too.
Oh yeah, Harbor ult, Viper ult, Reyna. You have to be ecstatic if you're Purdue. If you can get through this half 6-6 with such an aggressive comp, you gotta be super happy.
Right. Well, and I'm kind of curious to see where the tide changes, where PNW is going to be taking the defensive role here. Well, and especially with a KJ in play, you know, they don't really have too many options on what to do to counter. She does get flash, and Reyna's going to be backing out. They are droning it. They have essentially cleared main. They are going to try to flash, stop him. The paranoia comes in, pushing Reyna back further, and the util just continues to keep on coming. King Leo does take down Dorito, with Scopes taking down Void, and now PNW is at the disadvantage with 3 players left. And it looks like they're going to be holding up A main. I think they're just trying to get something right now. They need something. They need someone to push something. They need someone to get aggressive here if they want to continue to push themselves back into this round. And it looks like that's what they're doing. They're trying to bait it. They do manage to pop the KO ult, and KO does trade Reyna. And now it is down to a 4v2 with Purdue in the favor. They did pop the Harbor ult, but unfortunately for PNW, they are essentially down to one last player, and Quicks could potentially be good for one. But it's a really tough it's a tough gamble right now. Viper's ulted on B, so I mean you're not gonna want to go B.
Yeah, you can squeeze through the front, but Harbor's there to watch.
Right, and now we got KO taking down KO, and Vlad being the last one alive, not being able to finish it up. It is now down to 6-6 with a very, very close match.
Switching sides.
And you know, at first I was kind of I was a bit more hesitant on Purdue's comp, but I think they're definitely showing what they can do with 2 duelists and 2 controllers right now.
They know what they're doing. Interesting Viper wall just for mid control. I'm assuming they're gonna throw that every round. Cuts
Definitely
off,
for lurking.
Yeah, mid
Absolutely.
and grass.
Absolutely. You know, I don't actually see a lot of Viper players on this map.
No, pretty much. It's always like Omen players.
Right, especially with, you know, a lot of Omen's one-ways and such. And I don't even really, you know, I don't normally see Harbor on this map either. We're still, like, we've already talked about these comps. We already know it's a weird comp, but, you know, it's just like, sometimes it's a little unfathomable.
It's like literally Purdue Northwest is playing the comp you play on Ascent as they're hitting the site here. Vlad with the blind, able to get 1.
He does successfully manage to get that blind, but they don't know that Raze is on site. She is scraping around, managing to get what seems to be control of the A site. And Purdue now has it with PNW having to have what looks to be a retake. But Viper for Purdue, she's actually in a perfect position right now. With Raze managing to, what was that? Was that she just burst him?
Yeah, she just jumped and right clicked.
Oh my gosh.
What an interesting use of Harbor Cascades. I've never seen this before.
You know, I am definitely starting to understand why Harbor was picked. But just as I say that, KO does manage to take down Jet. And they're both low. This could go either way. No, he does try to go for the fake, but that's not the play to make right now, especially when you don't quite know if he's going to be pushing behind Jen or if he's just sitting on the other side. You're not going to have enough time to react if he swings you.
Yeah. So, Purdue into the bonus, getting the first round of the half. Looks like starting with a B hit, right?
Right. Well, so I think so PNW was scoping out A there. They did manage to, or not PNW, Purdue was scoping out A there, and they did manage to take site control. PNW is going to gear up and get ready for this next round, and it looks like they're going to be playing a little bit of a tricky positioning here over on Tree. Jet getting the jiggle peek, getting a little bit of information, and backing off immediately.
Yeah. Omen's tucked with the shorty right there.
Oh, the shorty play does not work. Jet does try to take another one. She is going to get naded off her position, but she decides to push, and she actually catches the raise off guard.
Yeah.
I mean, who expects you to rush your nade? You know?
Great, bold call to call that with a classic.
Right, right. Well, I mean, there's a little bit of downtime in between that nade throw, especially with, you know, a classic, which is what we would consider to be like a moving pistol. That's the play you want to make. Mm-hmm. That is the play you want to make. It's unpredictable. It's smart. Oh, and Quick's getting caught with his util out, allowing Purdue to make it into the site. Got a little bit of lag here, but we can kind of see what's going on. We are back with KO planting the bomb and Purdue now having control of the A site with PNW having the retake.
It looks like they're just playing as two. They'll probably just try to bait KJ to let Sova get one pick and then just be happy with that, if I had to guess.
Right.
They want to steal guns.
Last player standing.
At least a little bit here. I don't think running out the dry swinging, that was essentially the move. I think they definitely probably could have played that a little bit better there. And it looks like everyone's going to be running off the site. Sova's going to have to die. He's going to have to die no matter what here. He was going to try to go for what seems to be another pick.
Yeah.
But Purdue has already left site. They're off. They're gone.
Yeah.
And the bomb's about to explode.
Yep, he just wants the money.
As we all do. As we all do. The world runs on money.
Yeah.
Stay alive.
And
I
so
want
does
their
the
life,
Valorant
not yours.
Eco. Alright, and it looks like the bomb is being left in the spawn.
Yeah,
Viper did catch it!
They've done that every single round. They've left it every round.
There's a little bit of indecision as to who's going to be holding the bomb. I mean, you definitely don't want to give it to Viper. Viper went back and grabbed it, but Viper is a lurking controller.
Yeah.
So it's not really her domain to be handling the bomb in that sense.
Although with her still having it, normally you'd want, like, I agree, your KO or your Harbor would probably be the two. They're just doing a full 5-man hit.
There's a lot of util down right now, but they are in the site. And if Reyna manages to get this timing, which she does, she just marches her way into market. Oh my gosh! What a flick!
One enemy remaining.
And she's going for another one. And she's not done, and she takes down the rest of the team, winning the round, flawless for the Purdue team.
And that's exactly what you have to do if you're playing this comp. If you're running Raze, Reyna, you have to run at them every single round.
Right.
Like,
That's the play you wanted to make. That was very... it was not really good for PNW there, especially with the harbor wall blocking off market. You know, it's when a smoke comes up, you know, you feel a little bit safe, and then you have someone like Stewie2K who doesn't care about smokes.
Yeah, he that was just terrible timing for the KJ. She had just finished spraying into B main and was reloading as she popped through. Just unfortunate for her. Omen one way on, was that A main?
That is on A main. We do have a one-way. We don't get any information off of that KO knife, and it looks like PNW is kind of predicting that Purdue is going to be making their way towards A here, but mid is open, and this seems to be a common trend for PNW, kind of leaving mid open in a sense.
Yeah, it seemed like they like to stack one side and just leave KJ alone on the other, which is like a half retake strat. Just KJ plays off her turret and then plays safe and tucks boathouse.
Right. Well, and Purdue is actually playing this very smart right now too. See, they don't want to give up this round. That's by taking the other round right now. If you know, well, how do I say this? On attack side, you know, like it's rough to go into a half without having a single win yet. And without that mid control too, they did manage to make it up tree and pinch. Vlad did manage to get a trade on Reyna, but it looks like the effort is futile as they are now pushed back out of position and they can no longer hold the site.
Yeah, they got a Sheriff and a Classic. Void is just gonna try to bait Vlad because he's lower on life.
Player standing.
Right. That's exactly what happens, but it doesn't really work out the way they wanted as an Odin is now in play and wiped out the last 2 remaining players of PNW.
Placing alarm bot.
Viper Odin, not nearly as good as Sova Odin, but it still works on this map.
Placing sentry.
Right.
This whole map is just made of paper mache.
It's like Valorant in general, though. I don't think there's a wall you can't spray through in this game.
Placing swarm grenade.
It's a Counter-Strike player's worst nightmare.
A triple stack mid with a KJ alarm bot there is an interesting call.
Well, they have to do something different. Obviously, the way they've been playing wasn't working, and what they did manage to be a little bit fruitful, but Raze did manage to get the 2 picks in mid, which shut down the push that they had and put them at a disadvantage once again, with Purdue dominating the attacker side.
Absolutely, they just have to wait until their KO knife is back up, gather a little information, and then decide which site they want to hit. That's all they're waiting for right now.
Right, and especially with Harbor coming around and actually clearing the A site. Well, not necessarily clearing, but he now knows that nobody's holding an aggressive angle on it. Which actually, it seems PNW predicted that as they put a smoke down on A. I think that they know where the bomb is going, and they're going to get themselves in a position for it. But this lack of mid control is really coming back to bite them right now.
I'm shocked that
the timing! Ooh, Soja does manage to get him! Oh, the Odin does come around the corner along with Harbor. They do manage to get the trade, and now it is down to Omen to be the knight in shining armor, the hero of this story. Can he do it? The first pick is his. He does manage to take on Harbor, and he knows that there's a guy generator. What's he gonna do? Fake TPs, but it comes back to bite him as KO was ready for it, coming and peeking him from window.
Yeah, bad timing. He heard glass break, and you could see him flick back to look at it, but you can't do anything when you're in that TP.
Right. There's a little bit of time where you're just a little bit immobilized. This is not looking good for PNW. They are not being able to hold down the defense side. It looks like they're going to be playing this a little bit differently with I don't necessarily like that KJ turret.
Yeah, I prefer the one in the back by CT spawn.
I like that one too, but everyone uses that one.
Yeah.
So I think honestly what would be a more ideal position is putting it somewhere up near market, playing close to it and being able to play off of it.
Oh, just swing off it?
Right,
Yeah,
or
okay.
even if you want to buy an Odin and spam the wall, you know, all the walls that are made of paper, that might even be a play. And right now, Purdue has now managed to take the B site, and they have all their players still alive. The Sova drone does manage to clear site, but not main. And the Reyna, who is just taking these aggressive peeks, exactly how a Reyna should, taking down the Jet. And now Purdue is... It looks like they're going to be coming up on their, what would be match point. Quicks is trying to make some magic work. He does take down the other KO.
I think they're just saving here.
You have to.
Yeah.
They don't have the money for this.
And I didn't want to mention it in the middle of this round, but I just realized during that, why hasn't Purdue Northwest coach called a timeout?
They haven't called it. Well, they don't necessarily have a coach on hand.
Oh, they don't have a coach on hand?
No, we did have someone helping us a while back, but I'm not going to get into that.
Okay.
He did put them on the right direction, though. He's a very, very talented individual. Unfortunately, things did not work out.
Okay.
Wish we could have him here with us now. I wish we could, get a timeout in, a little bit of a mental reset, because I feel like the confidence is low.
Yeah. This feels like a game where they need a breath.
Well, and they were doing fine in the first half, especially within the when the match started. PNW is showing a more dominant role, but right now it's the lack of mid control, and that's due to having a Viper and Harbor. Jet does get traded, which is the last thing you want right now, especially when we're gearing towards the final round. PNW has to get this round in order to stay inside.
Purdue has Raze, KO, and Harbor ult online. Waste Raze ult.
Right, but she does manage to take some space, which is important. Void does kill Reyna, and and Harbor does get the trade, but Raze is deep. She is up heaven. Then it looks like that is going to be the game, with Purdue knocking PNW out and pushing them down into the loser's bracket and continuing to advance on forward.
I admit I had my doubts, but they proved us wrong. That comp was perfect on offense.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. And, I anticipated something like that. A lot of magic wasn't really happening on the other side until they started to, read PNW's play style. That was when they more so were starting to, get a feeling, and their bearings were in.
Yeah.
The shoe was finally breaking in as they were able to start breaching and getting more rounds. And going on to the next half, it was just PNW just couldn't. I just couldn't figure out what they had to do.
Yeah. Well, so their next matchup will be the winner between, I believe, Ball State and Butler, right?
Right.
So they'll get another shot at this in 2 rounds.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and we look forward to seeing that match come up. But for now, we are going to go on break. But do not go anywhere, because we have more Valorant coming right back at you.